What's good? We got our boy Owen over here. You guys seen him on TikTok. He's gonna talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. My opinion is that it's overhyped. Chris thinks it's a top 10 superhero movie. What are your thoughts?
I have it in my top 5. I put it like right at 5. It's like right at 5. It's 1,000 times better than the original. I watched the original cut like a week before the Snyder cut came out. I was skipping through parts of the original cut. I was like, this is terrible. And when going into the Snyder cut, I was like telling everybody that I'm like, I don't know how much I'm gonna like this because I hated the original cut so much. But then by the end of the movie, I was like, this was a really I'm like, this is a really good movie.
That's what he's saying.
And then, like every character, some like Cyborg and Flash, 10 times better than what they were.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly.
Wait, tell me the difference with what they did with Flash from back then to now. What was the important thing? Was it the last scene that made him better?
So the last scene I thought the last scene was really good, but then they also just cut out, and it goes the same way with Cyborg. They cut out so much of their development throughout the movie.
Facts.
Like they cut out the scene where he meets Iris.
His wife. Yeah.
They cut out, or they shortened certain scenes, and then they added scenes that like had no purpose to like Flash as a character.
I see.
And then the same goes for like Cyborg. I think in the original cut, if I remember correctly, when we meet Cyborg, he's already like, it jumps into like the middle of him hating his dad. They don't even show his backstory.
Oh, they don't even show that?
No.
No, they cut that, like his entire like thing they cut out. And it's just like,
fuck.
He's like 50% of the character that he should have been.
Hey, and that's supposed to be the first time you see Cyborg and Flash, right?
Yeah.
So the second.
Well, Flash we saw
it's the
pieces.
Second time you see Flash.
I see.
But it's like the first time that you see him as a character.
Yeah, like they showed
a fleshed out character.
They showed like the whole shit with him and his dad. They like hinted for stuff that'll happen in the Flash movie with like his dad being in prison and then why he's in prison. Like my dad's in prison. He even said my dad's in prison for 20 years for killing my mom.
But you didn't get to see him suit up?
Yeah, no. It was like, for killing my mom even though he didn't kill my mom, which is going to be hyped up for the Flash movie because that's going to be the whole thing with how his mom actually died.
I see. Yeah. And then that's where we get him in the jail scene, right? But what about Cyborg? Cyborg is like, this is the first time we see him?
Yeah. Like in the actual Justice League movie.
Yeah, it's the first time in the entire thing.
And it's so good. They made this character dope as hell.
Hey, Owen, would you say that I think he's like the most important character in this movie, Cyborg?
No, he is. And so I'd say Cyborg is like the focus of the entire movie. Even though it's like a Justice League movie, he is the main focus of it.
I agree.
He's like team leader.
He's the main focus of the movie.
See, the thing about me is that, what do you think about this, Owen? Do you still think, even though they made him better for Flash, do you think he's still corny sometimes?
Oh yeah, no. He's still like, he has, and I don't like the way that he runs, even though it's slightly better than what it was in the original cut. I still think he runs a little bit weird. I've had a bunch of people tell me that that's more realistic if a character like the Flash were to be real, that he'd run like that. I don't know how much I believe that, but he's definitely better than he was in the original cut. Even though there were still some moments where I was like, I don't really think that that's something Barry Allen would say. And like, I definitely don't know as much about the Flash as Chris, but I'm definitely like, I can tell like, you know, what something Barry Allen would say and like what something Wally West would say.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like, that's not.
Bro, that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, so Barry Allen's character isn't like goofy like that. Like Barry Allen's more of like a detective like Batman. Batman goes to Barry Allen sometimes for help for detective work. Barry Allen's like a genius. Wally West, the like other Flash, he makes the snippets, he makes the comedical jokes, and they're like combining both those characters into one, the Flash, and it's just coming out bad.
I see. But what about how many times he tripped, bro? That was stupid, right? How many times did he trip?
Tripped.
No, they made him really goofy.
It's like not even
twice or something. I don't remember.
They made him bad trips, like when he went right into Aquaman. Goofy, bro.
Yeah.
That was tough. That one hurt.
Wait, so this is what I wanted to talk about too, Owen. What are your thoughts on, you know, where they were fighting? So the Amazons, Atlanteans, and the Green Lanterns versus Darkseid. What are your thoughts on that scene? Like, if execution-wise, the way it looked, how did that look?
I thought it looked pretty good. So my whole thing going in with the special effects for the entire movie as a whole was to be like, I'm not expecting it to be great, but I'm expecting it to be bearable, just because I think they only gave him like 70 million, 65 million to finish the special effects.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's not going to be like this amazing photorealistic, but I was expecting it to be like serviceable CGI.
That's true.
Which is what I thought. Like, I thought if like going throughout the entire movie, I wasn't, sitting there going, oh, that looks terrible. Like, that looks really cheap. I'm just like,
I didn't take that into account.
It's like average. It's like average CGI.
Yeah, like it was more
very
like
average,
like bro. Martian Manhunter coming in was hype as fuck, but he looked terrible.
Bro, it looked goofy.
No, it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Martian, it was hype, but he looked terrible. But then, like, in that moment, like, he had a limit, and he's trying to make the story as best as he can.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna judge the story off of that.
That's true.
Like, the fight scene
I need to take that into account.
like, the fight scene with Ares and Zeus versus Darkseid, I thought was
You like that?
Bro, they tried in...
Like, dude, seeing Zeus throw lightning at Darkseid, I was getting hype watching.
Bro, we saw an
so
Bro, so Darkseid is technically a new god. That's what he is. He is a new god. And we saw an old god and a new god actually battle. And then, like, we saw Ares in the Wonder Woman movie, and we saw Ares weakened in the Wonder Woman, way weaker. And we saw, like Diana talking about, like, Ares at full power with his father Zeus, and Ares just went in and chopped through it. Like, he saw Zeus was fighting Darkseid was struggling. Ares just came in and fucking chopped that fool down. I was like, oh, that's so hype, bro. No, that was hype. It was just CGI wasn't all the way there, obviously, because of, like,
I still
budget.
think it was low-key goofy, that
No,
part.
I thought the whole fight scene was
The
so
idea
gas.
is cool, but I'm still saying the execution was, like, kind of, like, not lived up to the idea of it.
I really
Like,
thought.
Zeus, bro, did you see how he was throwing lightning?
Bro, it's fucking Zeus.
Goofy.
What, you want him to fart that shit out with?
Bro, Zuko be throwing lightning way better than that shit.
Bro,
What the fuck is this, bro? Iron Man, bro.
whoa. How is he gonna throw lightning?
Something cool, maybe like this. Like, throw the lightning down, like, strike him, instead of just
see
throwing
what you
lightning
guys are
through
doing.
him.
I'm visualizing.
He's literally doing this.
Bro, I'm saying he needs... I didn't like the way Zeus was throwing the fucking lightning like this.
You didn't like the, like, he's like squeezing his hands together. And
I like that. He's
like that.
charging it up and boom.
Goofy.
I liked it better than just imagine you're watching the movie and you see like Zeus just walk up to the dark side and he's like,
No, I really fucked with it. I'm not gonna.
Wait, what was your favorite scene though, Owen?
I'm gonna have to say the Flash scene at the end. So
I like that too.
Visually, my favorite scene is that Flash scene at the end, and then in terms of like you want to go, it's so weird like all these movies with CGI saying like shot for shot, but like visually, I really like that first Flash scene where he saved Iris from the car.
No, that looked
the car
really
crash.
pretty. Yeah.
I liked how like they literally showed him running out of his shoes. Like the man was running so fast, he just
Yeah, no, that looks
disintegrated his
sick.
shoes.
The shoes evaporated and concrete getting pushed.
Yeah.
I thought it was sick.
And like how he pushes against the glass, and like at first it almost just looks like liquid,
Yeah, that's
and then
cool.
it just shatters. I'm like,
This fool really liked that scene.
That shit was fire.
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like this
Corny.
is again where you get into like the weird area of like it's like what Chris said. The DCEU Flash is like a combination of Barry Allen and Wally West. Because like in the middle of this scene, which it's like, on the surface it's just like, oh, he's running to save her. It's a life or death situation. And this man grabs a hot dog
Yeah.
and puts it in his pocket.
Facts.
That's cool.
Like, I was watching, I'm like, that's kind of weird in this kind of scenario.
All right, Owen.
Yeah.
Overall, if you were Rotten Tomatoes, what would you give this movie?
Out of 10 or out of 100?
No, a percentage out of 100%. Yeah.
I'd probably give it I give it a 90. I give it a 90.
Solid.
Okay, I'll give it that.
Just because they're worth it's like, it comes down to the
I'll probably
Flash
give it an
was
80
better.
something.
The Flash was better, but he was still kind of a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like
Too long.
the whole Wonder Woman thing. Whenever she walked on screen, and you got the whole
Music, yeah, that was a bit extra.
acapella chorus. I'm like, I don't know what's up with that.
That was goofy.
But I give it a solid 90. I really liked it. I feel like if it had the full budget, and then you had the excitement of looking forward to the next two movies that Zack Snyder was going to make for the Justice League, it would have been really good.
Solid.
It did lead it up to the next movies, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying they're not gonna do it.
That's
I
still,
wish.
I don't know. I think that's still in limbo.
Me too. I agree.
I said it the other day, like, just the way that, like, our world works, like, money speaks. You know, money talks, numbers talk.
That's crazy.
So it's like, if
they know the fans are there?
If Warner Brothers sees this and they're like, oh, wow, people really like this, which, you know, I feel like they should have already gotten that message because this is something that, like, people have been campaigning for the last, like, 4 years.
Yeah, no, people have been asking for this since, like, 2016, bro. They said they're never gonna release it. And then, like, within the last year, they gave Zack Snyder, like, $70 million to finish the movie because people were asking for it for so long.
That's crazy.
So, like, if people really want it, money speaks, bro. Keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. I just think it's a little too overhyped. There's a lot of things that they could have fixed. But comparing it to the other, like, DCEU films, like, it's obviously the best one. I agree. I think it's the best one. Man of Steel and Wonder Woman were good, though.
I know. I said it to Chris, like, last week when we first talked about it. It's also, that last fight scene is 10 times better because in the original cut, it was just they needed Superman, and that's all they needed, and that's what they needed to win. In at least, like, this time around, Zack Snyder's, if they don't have Cyborg and Flash, especially Flash, they were going to lose, and the whole world was going to be destroyed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
You know, Superman came in, and he still had his moment of, like, just absolutely going crazy and, you know, being the overpowered god that Superman is. But it's like, if you don't have Cyborg and Flash, you're not winning that. You're losing. So I like that they changed that around because Superman literally came in the original cut, wiped the floor with Steppenwolf, and then separated all the mother boxes by himself.
That's what he did?
Yeah, no, he did it all by himself. He did everything by himself. That's what I literally said earlier.
I think Wonder Woman and Aquaman were, like, trapped under the rocks. I don't know where Batman was. I don't know where Flash was. Yeah, and he just came in and just separated them all. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, Flash's most important. Bro, Flash's most important in the original cut was him pushing a car with, like, 4 people in it.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
I mean, that's what they. I think that's what they had him and Cyborg do. That's where the 2 of them went. So they were gone. It's like, what? How are you? It made, really, that original cut, especially after seeing the Snyder cut, makes absolutely no sense. How you look at that, and if you're Joss Whedon, and be like, this is better than what. This is better than what they left me. So it makes no sense.
Facts. I agree.
For sure. All right. Yeah, that's about it, man. Thanks for coming on to the podcast, telling your side, what you feel about it.
Why the fuck you laughing?
Chris, you can't look at me like that.
That one's recording. Stop. Oh, that shit ate my percentage, boy.
Yeah? All right. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see next, and we're out.